Beautiful little recording here too. All right, you guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Jenna Thacker.
And I'm Lyanca Reina.
And this is the Haute Hustle Morning Show. Today we're talking with Kenji Kimura.
Yeah.
But first, we are going to talk a little bit about space weather news because I've gotten a little insight on that.
Yeah.
And we're just welcoming Lyanca back. And
I missed y'all. And jury duty is always, doing my civil duty, but I definitely did not want to be there. They were doing a full-on selection with a paddle and like selecting the jurors, and we had to answer questions. It was going to be intense. They were going to be there for over a week. I was like, oh no, what am I going to do?
you're like, not a week.
I was like, I do take up issue with this. I don't know if I can be unbiased.
This glorious life to lead.
Oh man, it was really intense. But thank you. I missed y'all too. So in today's Mystic Space Weather News, today we are headed into the Aquarius new moon. And this is an amazing energy. See, it's got a little song to go with it. It's an amazing energy to use to manifest your potential. These energies are bringing with them new opportunities and fresh starts. Aren't we excited, y'all?
New opportunity and fresh start.
I mean,
Beginning of the year.
we've been
How does it get any
this
better?
the purge with all of the sun, all the different sun flares and everything like that, like solar flares, what I'm trying to say. And it's been like, it felt like, oh, every time you're purging and get ridding and the clearing. Yes, there is that. But now we have new opportunities and fresh starts. This new moon will feel incredibly intense as it aligns with Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth cycles. That means it's a great time to be using the energies for clearing work and letting go of anything in your life that needs to go. So again, it's still some of that, but it is inviting in these new wondrous opportunities. This is the first new moon. This is the first new moon of the year, and very much bringing in with it the cosmic reset of the energies. Self-care is so important right now. This is a powerful new moon for what you're manifesting and where you're going. It's all about rewriting the story of your life the way you want it. You still may be working through clearing some ego attachments as you work to surrender control, letting go and giving it to the universe. It's a great time to let go of the old. And it's a great time to be tapping into the energies for healing work and for manifesting. I'm doing healings and we're doing activations all day. What's up? And this comes to us from Sparks of the Divine Healing on Instagram. And today is January 30th of the new year. But I always celebrate the new lunar year. I feel like it's just a really good time. We come off the holidays, so much is lost on the
Time.
resolution and all of that. And I feel like when you get to the Lunar New Year, it's like, okay, now we get to start, right? Or if you felt like you didn't really jump into the new year, well, good, let's go again, because this is a really fun and really it lines up with the energies of the earth. And so for today's space weather news comes to us from spaceweather.com. It says, there is a hole in the sun's atmosphere. A large hole in the sun's atmosphere is directly facing Earth, blowing a stream of solar wind in our direction. The estimated time of arrival is February 1st. So a minor G-class 1 geomagnetic storms are possible with this material reaches Earth. So of course the auroras will be on alert too. But here's what I wanted to share. It says it calls it a warning from the trees, but maybe it's a little bit more of a heads up, or like, let's just be aware, people, because I am seeing this come into my awareness in a lot of different places. And for spaceweather.com, they usually keep their stuff very, very let's say linear. They don't go off in a ton of like what are the maybe conspiracy theory, right? But do I subscribe to some stuff that has a lot of theory? Yes, because I do talk angels and I talk UFOs, and so I always kind of want to keep up with what other people are kind of, what's the universe kind of sharing with us, right? But I usually always report on what exactly NOAA is saying when I do these reports. So just so you know. It says a warning from the trees. It says, how bad, and uses the word bad, can the solar flare be? But maybe the word is strong. So just ask a tree. Unlike human records, which go back hundreds of years, trees can remember solar flares for millennia. It says that the Niyoga University, a doctoral student, Mayaki, that's where they, yeah, made the discovery in 2012 while studying the rings in the stump of a 1900-year-old Japanese cedar.
Hmm.
One ring in particular drew her attention. Grown in the year 774 to 775 AD, it contained a 12% jump in carbon 14, so 14C,
Wow.
an isotope created by cosmic radiation. The surge was 20 times greater than the ordinary fluctuations that come in cosmic rays. Other teams confirmed the spike in the wood from Germany, Russia, and United States, Finland, and in New Zealand. Whatever happened, trees all over the world experienced it. Now, this is the type of solar flares that would trigger tsunamis, right? So you would always hear about the great floods, different stuff like that. Most researchers think it was a solar storm, an extraordinary one. It says often we point to the Carrington event that happened in 1859. You've heard me talk about that before, as the worst case scenario for a solar storm. But in 1774 and 75 AD, the storm was at least 10 times stronger. If it happened today, it would floor modern technology. Since Mayaki's initial discovery, she and others have confirmed four more examples of this, what they call the Miyake events. And that is in 71, 76 BC, and then other times before. You can look up this article. But
Interesting.
what I
We can
wanted to
link that on the Space Weather News when we post it tomorrow.
exactly, but what
Okay.
I want to say is it's not clear all that Miyake's events are caused by the sun. Supernova explosions also can produce carbon spikes. However, the evidence tilts towards solar storms. For each of the confirmed Miyake events, researchers have found matching spikes of 10 BE or 36C1 isotopes. Basically, those are those ice cores that recently we have pulled from different places of the earth that we hadn't been able to reach before. And it's very, very recent that we've been able to pull large isotopes from the Earth's surface and below in order to match up these events with the Miyake events. So now they're using the isotopes and the trees to confirm these most likely solar flare
Yeah.
events.
Yeah.
And it says, eyewitness reports all across, different China and England suggest that the sun was extremely active during those times. And you see it also depicted in various different hieroglyphics, on just ancient writings, different stuff like that. And lots of, we always hear about the Great Wave Flood, right? So there seems to be that reoccurring theme here. The point I'm trying to make is that during this time, while we have these types of events and we know them, there's just time to really go deep within ourselves. And I keep saying that we are our own best guru. So whenever we can go deep within ourselves to get the information, such as opening your records or channeling or connecting with your higher self, is how you're going to be able to navigate something such as a solar flare, right? Or solar flash that takes out all of our technology and have right and having some preparedness. So really listening to your inner compass and really using those deciphers instead of just relying on what is the media telling us, what is Lyanca telling us, right? You really looking in and using these different clues and
to navigate the invisible field.
Exactly. Yeah. So now, Jenna, when I have been bringing up all this mystic space weather news, I know that sometimes you're like, I don't know, but
yeah, well,
it seems like you had just recently some revelation or kind of fell into some knowing of your own around this. Yeah. And maybe I don't do a really good job of explaining,
well, how many of you know, and just type in on the chat, and it's okay if you say, I don't know. How do you know that these solar flares are affecting you? I just, how do you know?
Or have you ever heard of Ascension through solar?
Yes,
flare,
let's well, I didn't want to say that, but I'm just kind of curious because, I think there's a part of me that's like, yeah, I get that this disrupts our energy, right? I get that, like sometimes when there's solar flares, you might feel tired or exhausted or disruptive.
And those are called Ascension symptoms.
And those are Ascension symptoms.
I never said
But
that.
I got awareness.
Yeah.
So my channeling really, really came online over the weekend.
Steven says Ascension
And I'm really
Yes, yeah.
uncomfortable with it, by the way, because it is brand new in a weird ass way. So I've been starting to go out and to play in this Arcturian land and ask these questions. And one of the questions I asked was, so what are the solar flares really? And why do we care? And it was pretty clear, straightforward information. These are to help us ascend to the God consciousness. It's beyond 5D, by the way, but they've got to start somewhere. So they are flashes to literally awaken us and actually cause some disruption in our system to see how we can, as Lyanca said, dive into our inner compass and navigate this land and this world. So I just thought that, like, that's exactly what we've kind of been saying here, but at the same time, it's just like solar flare, solar flare, solar flare. Oh, yet another one. Oh, this is an E blah, blah, blah. And sometimes I just kind of tune it out. And I thought,
Thanks, partner.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like, let's just get to the real good stuff. Let's bring on the speaker. Let's change the world.
It's like, really? Because this is the
Because
stuff
you're
that's
like, this is
affecting
actually
everybody.
going to
Yeah.
change the
No,
world
you.
and is affecting
Yeah.
everyone. So
Yeah.
I just thought I would add that kind of that insight.
Lindsay and a couple other people keep saying it disrupts my sleep, and I tend to feel more agitated and sensitive to irritating people and situations around me. That's very much an ascension symptom. It does create excitability in the Earth's atmosphere, and it creates excitability historically documented within humans. There have been wars that have been happened during a solar heightened activity.
Yeah.
Everything all right?
Yeah, I was gonna ask Kenji if he had the link okay.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, we don't want Kendra to be missing out.
Well, I
It's gonna
just
be a great
expected
day.
him to jump on by now. Actually, let me just send him the link too.
Yeah,
It's
right.
like I don't see him on the feed
And
right
let's see.
now.
And then a couple other people say it's new to me. I realize that I do get Nazi says, and I think I'm saying your name right. Says it's new to me. I realize I get up in the middle of the night and I can't go to sleep. Again, yes, that is going to be, and you can look it up too. It'll tell you, like if you look up
Mhm.
ascension symptoms, it'll tell you, what you kind of can expect. And then if you pair that up with my Mystic Space
Yeah.
Weather News, if it's more of it's happening
I
to the
think
Earth
it's
or
funny.
not.
It's some nights we do wake up around the same time, and some nights we will be like, "Oh my God, you did that too."
Yeah.
Maybe we should track
Ooh,
to
how
see
about
if,
you guys too? You on a
yeah,
track?
yeah.
I
And
know.
then just see, okay, where was the solar flare that
Oh,
day,
interesting. Yeah.
right? To see if that is like our, or is it just our circadian rhythm
I
or
don't
something
think
like
anyone
that?
else would be doing that. So that would be some
I
other
know
things to
some,
do
yeah,
differently.
I know.
Yeah, we'll do
It's
that.
funny, I've been tracking my
Yeah, let me know.
Duolingo and now I'm tracking my Peloton, so I feel like tracking might actually be something that I can stay consistent with.
Curious what if anyone else, so maybe track for the week and then write that into team@household.com. I will put all that information together
Yeah.
and see if we're kind of really feeling something as collectively.
Uh-huh.
Because
Wow, that'd
collectively,
be fun.
I
Let's
know,
do this
I know.
collectively.
And my husband said he said no, most people don't normally report on this type of stuff. He goes, so it's pretty interesting that I would
Yeah,
even bring it
that's
to a big
lovely.
mirror. Like my other question for you too is, um, when you have these excitability moments, what are the tools that you can use in order to bring you back to the frequency that you most want to use? So that's the
Mhm.
reason why this might be important, right? Because
Mhm.
those things can throw us out of whack, and then next thing you know, you're blaming everyone and
Everyone
the
else.
dog, right?
Yeah.
And your life, and you really didn't really realize that this is an excitability. These are photons of light that are really being important heavily down on the earth right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're having a cranky day and you're wandering around and shuffling, really whether you're doing that because of a solar flare or not, we need to work on elevating and escalating and seeing how to change the frequency. It's funny, on Tuesday, and I asked Susan to come back today because I got a really specific message on how to work on her eyesight.
Uh-huh.
And she's been on my heart and my mind like all weekend, all,
Yeah.
just since Tuesday, because I was just like, I really,
That's the magic of the show.
yeah,
Yeah.
one of the big messages
It
though,
really
I got, so
holds space
the
for
first
everybody.
thing that happened, because this is like the first time I've really brought the channel to the show. Like I'm really good doing this at night and I want to be quiet and secret because I don't 100% trust it. Now, do I trust my hands-on a healing ability? Hell yeah, because I've seen the outer 3D worlds tell me I've seen a change. I've seen a change. This has happened, right? I've gotten the outward feedback to validate my gift that I knew. And luckily at the beginning, I had a lot of people willing to say, here's my body. You can go there if you want,
Uh-huh.
right? So, now that I'm trying to do this a little remote and I'm trying to bring our Metis in as we do this, because that is the DNA, changing healing capacity, for lack of a better word. And I try not to make things significant in my world, right? In this way, it sounds very significant as these words come out. But when we worked on our eyes, the message I got was simply that it was be in the frequency of what the energy poses, that it's like when you could see, when you did see, when you can see, right? And keep playing, play in those frequencies of what that freedom is, and experience it in your heart, in your life, right? That was kind of the message I gave her. And I was like, well, that's overly simplified.
I know, right? I feel
And
like
then I tried to
right
go
now.
hit, and it's hard to take sometimes too. If even just 3 years ago, somebody would say that, you'd say I'm experiencing lack or separation or fight or something. If somebody would come to me and say, well, Jenna, it's fine, just feel abundant. And feel abundant all day, every day.
I might
And look at your checkbook and imagine an extra zero and just pour it out. I would be like, there would be 100% else would have that, like that fight, that resistance. It's like incredibly difficult to make that leap.
It can be.
It can be.
Yes.
Now, I do know through hypnotherapy and me on an evening, every single night basis, listening to things, that that vibe changed, and other vibes have changed, and other things have changed. And then things on the outward appearance have shown to change. Well, one of the biggest messages I'm getting lately is you've got to watch for just a tiny, tiny, itty bit of progress. And that's the universe sprinkling like the Tinkerbell juices on you, and you go,
I like that. That's
and then you start feeling, okay, the universe hears me. Great. And now have I had a little glimmer that I can see in one of my eyes in a different wave of light or something like that? And how can you pour on more gratitude and ask for even more frequency around this? There's this man that speaks. He has no arms and no legs, and he's a motivational speaker. His first name is Nick. I don't remember his last name, but he has on one of his foot a complete big toe and a partial second toe that he uses to basically, type on a computer, to make motions, right? Like he was talking, I saw him in person. He was talking about, the ups and downs, and he was using his big toe to demonstrate that. And he makes jokes like stand up on your 2 feet, right? Would you stand up on your 2 feet and clap your hands, right? And you could tell that he kind of doesn't care that he has this limitation anymore without arms and without legs, because he is following his purpose and showing people look, you can have all these limitations and you can still be and have what you want in your life. And basically what I'm inviting you to get from this, it's truly to watch itty bitty little teeny tiny progress in your life and be grateful for it. And the progress that you think is on the down, don't pay attention to it. Like literally just say, okay, I interesting that it's that way for this second. This is just a frequency moving through me. Interesting that it's this way. Is there a possibility in the field for, thank you, Infinity, for putting that on the feed. I still don't know how to pronounce his name, nor would I have remembered it. But is there a possibility in the field for you to have these things?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Karen
just think
says,
it's
thank you for that reminder, no matter how small. Yeah.
progress,
That's
itty
the-
bitty, teeny tiny.
Yeah.
And to not like hit your rock bottom when you slide back, to not go
Yeah.
to drugs, alcohol, food to numb yourself out.
Which is why I always give the report of the like of where the sun is, right?
Yeah, because
the
then
ascension
you can
symptoms are real.
blame it on the sun.
Blame it on the sun.
She's
Yeah.
a better singer than me.
Cesar Gomez says, just wanted to share that I've been feeling solar flare symptoms, headaches, third eye activation, joint back pains, stomach issues, and how about yourselves? Yes, your third eye does come online, but yes, those other things happen too. And so you just have to learn to navigate and then give yourself a lot of grace. That's my favorite word there. Lots of grace, and to know that these things can happen.
I don't know where Kenji is. Is this like the first speaker we've ever had
Yeah,
in
ever.
like a year and
Ever.
a half that forgot?
Hello? Hello?
Is that Kenji on the phone?
No. I do give him my, what you call it?
You did send him an email and your phone number?
Give him
Okay.
a time in
All right.
that converts to his time.
Oh, okay.
Let's
Well, I mean, this is a fun conversation. Let's just Lindsay said, I appreciate Spice Weather updates, Lyanca.
Oh, thanks.
It's a reminder for me to check in sometimes. So let's ask this question, since we're still on space weather in a way. And now that I'm a little more excited to really track this. Just had to bring this Arcturian high priestess on to go there. Oh my gosh, I love her. But like with this hole in the sun thing, is that going to be, that's actually going to excite us, so it might be motivating. It might move us into
it's different than
it's a little bit different than a flare.
It is.
Because the
It's the
flare,
first time I reported on one.
okay. The flares actually cause us to kind of get a little moody, like they literally mess with your 3D. So you feel like, meh. That's probably why I never noticed them. Just kidding. All right, you guys, time for us to shut up. Let's see who else has something on the feed that you're going through that you'd like to talk about. That's hi Nazi. Hi, all you new, a couple of you new people that aren't haven't, I don't see your names all the time. So thank you. And I was really hoping that Kenji could talk with Susan today. But I will talk to her if I have to, because that is where this all started.
I can call him.
Yeah, I texted him.
I know. See, he's a bud. We're cool with him like that.
Well, I think, yeah, right.
Let's see if I can troubleshoot for us. This is the first time we've ever had any trouble.
Yeah, especially with Kenji, who we've had on, I don't know how many times. So let's just talk with Susan while Lyanca is gone for a second here and see what happened on on Tuesday, it was just me kind of talking and exploring, and as I do. So. Susan, hello.
Hi,
Let me,
hello.
blah, just a
Well, thank
second.
you. At least
Things are gonna
you're
go
my fellow
crazy if I
Arcturian.
don't do a couple other things because I am on this mic system. Just a second. Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Arcturian.
Susan, you're up. I think I need this up this way.
Oh, you're so fine. We're okay. Okay, big hugs. Love you. Bye-bye. He's coughing like crazy.
Oh, he's not feeling well.
To join, he says he is just, yes.
Okay. All right.
He said, I'm so sorry.
Oh,
It
okay.
happens. We're a live show.
Very live.
It's never happened this way, but if
We can
he's
still have this
coughing-
topic though.
Okay. It is a really
I
good
can
topic.
share some of the questions I was going to ask him, and we can I can ask it to Lyanca instead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Susan, I would kind of just give us an update if anything has shifted with your eyesight since Tuesday. I just more curious if you've sensed anything.
Mhm.
Did I give you a black eye from that little fireball?
No, but the eye is different. No. Believe it or not, I have had changes. Kind of weird, but they're changes. And it's funny when you said about a Turian, I have an Turian guide named Nico. I
Mhm.
think that's why I just gravitate towards you and like Lyanca because you're part of Turian. And I kind of felt, I don't know if you were doing energy work on me, but I felt that you were around me.
Yeah.
Like your energy was like another guide. There was
Yeah.
another person there. And I'm like, okay, work on me. You have my permission. And the eyes
They
were
can hear.
seeing a little bit better. Well, I was so grateful and I'm clapping to myself like, yay. I was just said, thank you. I'm grateful for whatever you're doing for me right now. And I knew the guys were going to direct me to certain people, and you are one of them.
Thank
Somehow
you.
you're going to help me through this journey the most out of anybody. And that
Oh,
just
Oh.
flashed in my brain. And they said, she is the one you have to connect with, and you're going to go through the journey together. You're going to teach each other something. I don't know what. That
Yeah.
was in this whole conversation one night, my one dream. When I
Well-
looked on my computer last night, the image of the person was trying to come through, but it was like in a negative, you know how negative is of a picture? And I'm going, wow, this is great. At least it's starting to do something. So it is trying to focus, but it still can't. And I was okay with that. I went, all right, I'm fine. And I thought of you again. And I went, oh, she might be working on me and tuning me in. So I left it go at that. Then I had last night, I had the dream. Maybe you can explain maybe what this means. I saw myself in a mirror. Like I can't see myself in the mirror. It's like just blurred out. Okay. Like your face. Well, I saw myself in the mirror last night, but it quite didn't look like me, but it was me. And I'm there. Wow. I look great in that mirror. Oh, wow. I can really see myself. I'm really happy. And then it just ended, like I walked away or whatever. But in the meantime, I saw you way in the background, but you were in this beautiful robe. It was like a beautiful, really purple robe, and you were just like glowing and shining. And then to top it all off, Lyanca was on the other side, and she had on a beautiful teal robe. And she had this beautiful light around her, but she was just staring off looking, but you were the main person. So I don't know. That was just, and I said, wow, I look good. And I'm like, I look good at my age. That's what I'm like, admiring myself in the mirror here. And I said to my husband, maybe that's showing me a sign of the future if I allow it.
yes.
Yeah.
It's what's possible is definitely what I'm hearing.
But you have done something that has dramatically shifted the brain.
Well, I haven't, but
You have.
But the Arcturian collective for us have. And I mean, I can't express that
But they're
enough.
working through you.
Yeah, they're working through me to us.
Right.
And that also means you us. Does that make sense? Like it's,
Yeah.
I kind of want to say it's the kingdom of we, right? I don't even want to say it's like oneness. It's more a kingdom of,
Right. Right.
yeah. But
But I mean,
I get that
it
too. Like, you know, exactly, it's almost exactly what you said. It's all that. That's that kingdom of we is
uh-huh.
operating
Uh-huh.
through me more dynamically so that I can connect remotely for one, because that has been a big ask. And
Yes.
and
But they
and those
said,
of you that are, I mean, I don't want to even separate this, but those of you that are aware, maybe is the word, that's really worked on the awareness of this, can really
Mhm.
receive it.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Stephen brought up a good point.
Mm.
When I opened my abilities to channel, it was because I said that I was willing to go there and I was going to be so open. Now, my first
Mhm.
time I channeled was through a QHHT session that I received, but it was the surrender. And so Stephen said, yeah, you said you felt it and you gave your higher self permission. And I did in the way driving over there. So lo and behold, yes, I did, was an open book, but and channel did come through. But my ability to channel really came online for me when I really started to be with it, be it and be with it, and know that that's a facet of, I am a facet, I here on earth am a facet of that higher self-consciousness. We all are, we all are. One of the things that I know for sure here is that we all are, when we came to earth, we volunteered during this time. And to come during this time, during the ascension period, is a very noble, I don't want to say the word is noble, but like it's a very big task. It's undertaking. There's a lot of things going on around here.
Who here signed up for challenges?
Hey, what's up? You're right. And you're like that bucket of challenges. You kept putting them in. Your guides are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're like, no, I got this.
No, I got it. I'm
then-
a high
and then you
priestess
forgot- then
from
you
the
forgot-
collective.
You didn't know you're gonna forget, right? Like you got to get to earth and like, damn, I forgot everything.
Can't remember my
Yeah.
magic. It doesn't work here on this planet.
And
I could have just turned molecules from molecules into magic.
right, I could float and levitate just like some people said in their dreams, because you really can. So because you can, I've had those dreams too. And I remember thinking like my grandparents are gonna walk in and think I'm crazy. I'm walking on the roof, right? But the truth is that so there are not enough bodies for the souls that volunteer to come, these really wise souls that we all are, the ones with all the challenges, right? Then we rose our hand and said, yeah, I'll do this.
Yeah.
I will be that guiding light for others. And so we are all facets of that. You called it the kingdom of we. It is of the oneness, but it's like your piece is so integral.
Yeah.
I keep calling it, it's your signature resonance. It's exactly who you were meant to be in this moment at every single moment. Even if you stayed at the same frequency you are, it is you and it is needed. If you raise it even more so, the better. We talked about this a second ago before we started the show about why it's so important collectively. Maybe you want to speak that again.
Yeah, it's very clear to me. And the reason I said it's more like a kingdom of we versus oneness is because we, like I know it's like we have there's a bunch of we's that have a position, like we have a purpose. I don't even want to use the word purpose.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like heavy, right? But
you don't mean purpose in the way that most people think. It's like
I'm not explaining this well.
There's an existence, there's a reasoning for your existence here on earth right now. And of course,
yes,
you are that piece, that integral piece of the full resonance. And so without you, you cannot play the full orchestra, right? Like if you don't have the string section, you don't play the orchestra. If you don't have like the percussion in the right place, you don't play. So your signature resonance has got to hit that chord exactly where it's at. Even if you were to remain the same. Now, if you were all to raise an octave and you played the chord higher, then you could reach a different level, right? So everybody together playing that higher octave is how we all resonate a little bit higher and together. But if you had one person that fell out, you don't have that full force symphony, that beautiful chords that all go together. No matter if you were not to raise your frequency, you still would be playing together. Does that make sense? And so you're needed in that way.
That was well said. Yeah.
So that's why everybody's always talking about the collective and
Yeah.
let's and on this show we kind of joke because
Kind of.
we don't like being like all airy fairy. I know that it is that way, but like sometimes we're like, oh, like all that
Well, there's a
manifestation.
reason we called it Haute Hustle and not something like really woo, like the galactic conspiracy theories. Because we want to keep it light, and we want it to be an invitation no matter where you're at.
Yeah. But don't hesitate to what did I say earlier? Bring up anything because we'll go there, right?
Yeah.
Let's go full on in with the conversations and
Yeah.
to bring up another conversation. Lots of people have been saying that they're still seeing orbs. Are y'all seeing orbs or reports of orbs in the sky? And I'm going to tell you why this is coming up for me.
Well, I mean, yes and no.
Some people
right?
are call them I don't want to go there, but like there's a code word called diorbags. It's the drones and but there's different sightings and whether the video is real or not, there are just tons of them out. And lots of people have been, and of course, then we heard the report saying that that the current administration said that they're ours and that some people were feeling,
those are drones, not orbs.
yes, but the drones are out there, but so are the orbs. And there wasn't any acknowledgement.
No, I
of
saw the orbs in the news.
Yes, okay, so then, but nobody's really acknowledging it. So some people are feeling like they are not really getting their message heard, or they're not getting enough information. When I was in a channeling project a long time ago, this was back in 2022, in connecting with the seers of the Galactic Light Federation, what I received was that we would be getting more contact with our celestial brothers and sisters, and they would come, and the words were, yes, we will come in the form of orbs. And that's kind of how my voice changed. And it's like, and I was like, huh. And I got this image of like little
Ooh.
orbs of everywhere, maybe around us. And I kind of thought it was the kind that you see pictured in photographs. Well, I did not think, because my brain could not probably process, and only the being could, that it would be actual orbs that come to like everyday Americans that are just sitting outside, just chilling in the backyard and them doing dances for people. Like, I did not know that it was going to be like this, and nor could I have fathomed that.
Wow.
Listening back to these sessions. And so when I'm pulling back through this information, I'm really getting that this is, and it's almost like a time loop that's happening for me with this information, because all of this stuff that they were saying, that the seers were saying, is coming true.
Yeah.
And my brain could not fathom that they would be orbs, while, that people would videotape, right? That would like correspond with people. Like there's video of like, one mom has her kids out, and I don't even know if I could have had that at the time. Like I was such a scaredy cat with the kids out, and just the other day and was like, you're of love, aren't you? And it seems like the orb, it could be fake, I don't know, is like talking back, like flashing, and says, will you turn purple if you are of love? And you could tell it kind of turns the color, and like, then some people were saying that the purple was man-made. Either way, whatever it was, I mean, it's just what it gave to me though in rereading this information and the information that I've received through channeling, right? Through checking in with my higher self. It is my higher self that gets the information. And it allows me to now, when I see things that I might have been scared of before, because let me tell you, back then I think I was a little more of a scaredy cat. I now feel that I can be in a place of, oh, this is a beautiful thing. Oh, this is a place of love, and they are very much here to help us ascend, and we can call on those energies. We don't even have to see them to know that they are here to help.
Yeah.
Just like Jenith is also bringing online her channeling abilities. You can too. You will too.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about this Galactic Confederation just for a minute. Because from what I am aware of, these orbs are just here to give us like this benevolent, loving frequency to acknowledge, hey, you're not alone.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be any more than that, but I do think it's impressive that there's a huge number of people seeing it because it makes me feel that that is the fourth dimension. Like it's like, okay, we're coming now. You're capable of seeing us because you have this fourth dimension of time opening up
Yes.
here on planet Earth.
No matter if you are subscribed to the idea of Ascension, like these are people
Yes.
that probably would never have listened to our show. Or they might listen to our show now.
Because they're just like, I don't know what this is. Let me Google and maybe I'll find Orbs and they'll fan the asshole. No, I don't know, right?
It says orbs and holograms. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I've seen color changing ones.
Oh,
I've seen
cool.
some move and color change and have number codes.
Mhm.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's so crazy to have that. And there's just so much more in that information that
Right,
comes through.
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, and so I think it's been interesting with me diving into this galactic because now I'm like, okay, this is real.
Yeah.
Like this is not
Yeah.
me just making shit up.
Yeah.
And so, when I've looked at all these different planetary lives, and you did a QHHT channel, and I was a little child where things were blowing up, and it said that it wasn't my Arcturian.
So hold on.
So
let me
okay,
just
I'm just
explain
sorry.
how,
I'll stop getting
QHHT works.
Okay.
So basically the cool thing about QHHT, it's quantum hypnotic healing technique. And Jeneth had a really cool session on her birthday.
Yeah.
So she came and had the session with me. And the thing about it is that it takes you into somnambulistic state in which you are able to communicate through your God code. Basically, it's the state of your brainwaves that some people say it's where your pineal gland is activated, where God code is activated, where you're talking to your higher self, and what Dolores Cannon, she's the one that created the work, calls subconscious, right? So it's not the subconscious that the kind that you do with the therapy. It's like the subconscious that like knows all, that is connected to everything. It is you. So it would be me. It was you connected to source. So so anyway, you go back and we go through past lives. So we went either to a current life, and she went to current life.
First current.
First was current, and then we went to a past life, and I'll let her tell you about that. And then we take the questions that she has, and we ask her questions that she gave us that I wrote down to ask of her subconscious. So the entire time it's her in her own voice recorded, and everything that she's saying, I'm not doing anything else except for putting her under, facilitating, and make sure she's safe and good to go.
Yeah,
but she is the one directing everything. So that's why I always love to share that, because hearing your own voice is like, isn't it right? The craziest thing.
But and with the dialect and everything.
Okay, so go ahead.
So one of the planets that I was on was this, I was like a child, and this planet was being destroyed, and we were all going, we knew we were going to die. It was just a matter of time.
I haven't listened to yours.
And when I was like, okay, was this Arcturian? Like what? Like I had the idea that most of the God consciousness and the planets that, could intergalactically like travel from places or teleport to, basically to kind of teleport the energy to Earth and back through, not just like they've got to go all the way through the Milky Way through it's Andromedas. That's what the galaxy is called? Sometimes Andromeda.
Yeah.
Okay, the Andromeda galaxy, which is kind of like the female galaxy to our Milky Way father sky.
Okay. I'll follow. I got you.
But I kind of thought anything that can touch Earth is benevolent in general. That's not necessarily true. And what happened was it was another planet like Lemuria or something, and the Draconians were destroying our planet, and we went to Lemuria or something like that. That was our way of going. And that was, it's kind of like, okay, well, this is fun story shit, right? But I, made me go, oh, okay. Well, that makes sense now. And no wonder there was so much terror that would come up through a session because it was so significant in the frequency of the me, the kingdom of me. I mean, for lack of a better word. So, so with UFOs, which is where I wanted to talk with the conversation, which is be more fun for you, is I get that most of the ones that touch us, they are of God consciousness. They just want to contribute.
Yes.
They just want to help. Now, there are AIs within some of these other planets, like they call them the grays, which is kind of what you think of an alien looking like. And that is very, very different.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I'm glad that you pointed that out.
Oh, Dana said a lot of souls took refuge to Lemuria.
Dana's pretty clued in. So
I know.
Like, I'm down.
Thank God she's in our
yeah.
Mystique society.
Yeah, she brings it with her, and she gets a lot more insights now that she's like super. I'm always just astonished. I'm like, girl, you are so cool.
Oh, she's so good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
One of the other things too that was very apparent to me is so I woke up. Oh, who here is having a lot of dreams that they could kind of remember?
Well, yeah, I don't know if they're dreams lately. I would say I'm half in more than usual.
Yeah, okay. And then I know that Cesar, he had read that he had dreams, and then I think Tiffany said that she was like levitating in hers, and those remind me of a lot of the dreams that I used to have. Dana says that she's very vivid and very lucid. And then someone says they travel a lot.
Very lucid with Shara.
Was that yeah, Shara says very lucid, very vivid. Yeah.
Why are you asking?
Because as we are having these ascension symptoms, this is another way in which our higher selves and our celestial body is trying to communicate with us. And so much so that wants to let us know that there is this other way of being, and that we are very much having these experiences. A lot of the times we are out doing stuff with along the ley lines, bringing people to ascension. We are doing a lot of work in the middle of our night. Sometimes if you wake up and you're tired again, you could be doing a lot of work, and you could be asking your body, it says, Shara says astral travel. You could ask your body, okay, hey, would it be okay if we come back into our body with a lot of refreshment, like feeling more alive and joy? I appreciate that we go out and do the work, but I also want to support myself here. And so you can ask your body and your higher self to support you in that way. I'm just saying all of this because
I'm going to start asking for that.
Because, and right, maybe you can just feel like you just left the spa. Can we just feel like we left the spa?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I wake up
every single morning.
Sometimes I'm like, I don't know what we did, but I am like, wow. And there are times where I have very vivid dreams. Now, two things are happening. One is that, yes, you are having these experiences. And the other thing is that your guides are very much trying to communicate with you. Guides, UFOs, your celestial brothers and sisters, like your soul family, which also is your star family, is trying to communicate with you. And they use very much so these I want to say very vivid, just symbols, like symbolism. Like, for example, somebody explained to me that they just recently had a dream that they were going to give this speech, and they were trying to read off the names of this paper at the podium, but couldn't touch the paper because they had salmonella on their hands. Those are very specific things. So you want to look at those things and say, okay, what does that salmonella mean to me? I know this person really well, and I know that this person always wants to protect everybody. They're always really big about washing their hands after cooking and stuff like that. But the salmonella, for some reason, could have been, I don't know, could have been
right, or
could have been something, right? Just another hi, here's some information. For me, the way that the records called out to me was through a record, like a record player and I knew that it was the Akashic records. So try and keep note of those dreams, so that way, because you're going to start getting so much more information. In other words, the other thing I heard the other day was there are so many more people. There is a heightened need for channelers, but not enough people raising their hand to say, I will be that. If such, you do not have to. There are some people that are it's totally fine that you not doing that. But if you are feeling called in some way to bring forth information, and even if it's just bring forth the information and write it down on a piece of paper,
Mm.
it is now then brought into the in the 3D.
Yeah.
And so all of those different things collectively is how we will
Mhm.
ascend together. So I'm just putting out different
I
things
love
for you
this,
just to
this
have
conversation.
awareness. Yeah.
It make me think about my conversation with Amy Robeson that told me to supplement.
Uh-huh.
Well, so what came up when you were talking about that was my mom had a lucid dream when she was getting a breast lump, like right at the beginning of it. And
Wow.
they went and she woke up kind of terrified and made a doctor's appointment like the minute she got up, and they
Yeah.
got her in right away. And they're like, how did you even notice this? We can hardly even see
Wow.
it. And so she just had this like simple needle extraction.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And that was way early on. I was young, like 10 when she had her first little breast lump.
Wow.
Yeah, which makes me think, so this is not just like to have a lucid mystical dream. This could also help, Susan get awareness on her eyesight.
Yes.
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 Anybody else have a physical ailment that they would love some, help and direction on? Maybe you can get that through your lucid dreaming. And I just thought I would add that to the conversation.
Oh,
Right.
Cesar says I have something very profound with the I can't
The
say
Lemurian.
No, it's not Lemurians, it's
Oh,
Lyrians.
Lyrian.
Ly,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
Lyr.
Oh, they're like the lion breed.
Okay,
They
okay,
look
okay.
like lions.
Okay.
Yeah, Larens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay,
Oh,
very
the
much.
Laren. Yeah. Something happened with the Larens, I think, too.
Yes,
I don't know that. I would have to ask more questions about
sure.
that.
Is it why it could be hard to remember dreams? Yes,
Yeah.
it went in half in and half out. Yes. So one of the things that helped me, so I got this information from David Wilcox.
Mm.
Love him or hate him, whatever. He's one of the leaders I found in some of the mystical teachings, and he had a class called Wisdom, I think Wisdom Self Codes or something like that. And he wrote a book about how he would transcribe after coming at like from the dream state. So he'd still kind of be half in and half out, like you explained here, Stephen, and would start to kind of transcribe what he was experiencing in his dream. Now, what I've done is I'll open a voice recorder and I'll just start talking, because I used to just be mad that I have to wake myself up to get the pen, write it all down. But one of the things that really helps for you to start bringing in your dreams, because as you do this, more will come in. And so what helps is that if you can help to describe, was it ominous? Was it dark outside? What do the people kind of look like? Recently I had a dream where we were all in this compound and we lived, it was kind of like the Hunger Games, but not as, the challenge wasn't so bad like the Hunger Games where we go off to die, but we definitely were governed by another whole governing source, and the people weren't free. And I had to go off and do whatever it is that I had said that I was going to do whenever I was turned of age, right? So it was 16 or something. And I just did not agree with these people, but I also knew that I had to do it. And so one of the things that to help me remember the dream is like, what were the people wearing? What were they? How did they look? How did it smell or feel in there? And that helps to bring forth some more of the dream so that you can remember. And even just those little pieces will start to help really make the connections as you go back and reread your dreams. Right. So I have them transcribed. So it goes from voice to like I can read them. And so now I can flip through my dreams and I'll be like, holy moly. Like I straight dreamt about a helicopter that like crashed on the front lawn of, the White House. And so, and then I woke up and that kind of stuff happened a couple days later. Like that kind of stuff can really be
I had one like that with a car
insightful.
accident once.
Yeah.
And I still had the car accident.
And these are the types of things that are going to be needed. And this is the thing that keeps coming up to tell everyone is that this is going to be the kind of way that we like, it's exciting because we can listen to our own selves. We don't have to navigate with all the scary stuff.
Yeah. Well, so I wanted to address a direct comment, a direct question to me. I won't say their name, but they asked, like, how do you know you have a connection with one of them? Like, meaning one of these galactic constellations. And it's simply through question. Once there's a very difference. If you were on Tuesday's call, which you weren't.
I wasn't.
I addressed this briefly, and I will say it super briefly because it doesn't need much time. Uh, it's very different when you're being communicated with telepathically versus communicated through an entity. And I do think that there are trickster entities which will tell you whatever you want to hear. And I do find that that's very different for me. When I first started this practice, basically, I was forced into this because I actually was crazy. I mean, it's like they're like during the middle of the night, there were things coming and being like, help me, I'm dying.
I remember
And
that.
I would wake up like, freak the fuck out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. I'm like sleeping.
Yeah.
And I can't believe you just woke me up. And you showed me all these awful images because it's awful.
Yeah.
And I can't do anything about it. And so I had actually gone to a master teacher that worked with me to help me figure out like how these entities were coming in, these portals, and it was just like chaos.
Mhm.
And I had all this noise in my head, and there was no like I couldn't even find me, and if an angel came and said, Jeneth, what is your wish? What do you want? I would be like, I mean, it'd be like these 80s rabbit ears, right? From an old TV that I'm just trying to get through. So that's how I came to this work at the beginning.
Okay.
I worked all these ways to get really, really clear, to clear the noise. And then finally, now that I've gotten clear, I find that I can choose this connection, right? Like, and it also seems that they are so beloved to me that I am it almost a lot of the time right now. I won't say all the time, because I do go into my human. But so to answer your question, that is, how do I know? Well, I know because I now have this telepathic capacity. I probably can telepathically do it with humans too. And I will ask questions. So it's like ask questions, ask questions. With the entities, you have to do that. That's how you get, it's like, who are you?
Yeah.
Are you benevolent?
The person so one thing I want to point out too is you may not know this, the person in the body has full control.
Yes.
So please know that. The second thing is that if you do feel that you're like, I don't know if I should believe this, right? Because I did have those moments too at first. You can always ask anything that is not of the highest light, leave me now. Leave me now.
Yeah.
Return to for whence you came.
Yep.
And they have to listen. They cannot stay around. Now,
you have to demand it
and
sometimes.
then you'll know that when you do that and you start to connect telepathically, and then you still have this that you are communicating with, you can know that is of the highest light, and usually always is a part of you. It is your higher self, and it is your higher self connected to source. My higher self connected to source has a name that they've revealed to me. And Janet's obviously revealed her name. You can ask these questions. One of the things I was going to ask for you maybe is, can you give us as an example of kind of how you, since you just recently did this, how you get maybe a line of questioning? So like, let's just pretend
okay,
you're there.
yes.
So
like
if it's the middle of the night, I'm totally putting you on the
middle of the
spot.
night, back in the day when all this crap was happening.
Just
to me.
recently, how you're talking with
the
Ornamentus.
Oh, okay. So it's
let's just say that maybe it's meditation. I
mean, it might as well be how we're speaking now.
Okay, yes.
Yes, which is very different when I'm speaking and thinking in my head.
Right. So what are some of those lines of questions? I know that you say them in your mind.
Oh,
but
so
let's say them.
Well, I
let's
tried
pretend like you say them out loud.
Actually, I've tried to doubt or change some of the stuff. So
they don't let you. They don't let you use the wrong words.
No.
Yeah.
And then multiple times. And and it's almost sounds and not like I feel like, how do I spell this? Is one of the things. No, it's not. It's a sound,
Because there's
yeah,
not
yeah.
a word equivalent. There's not a word
Correct.
equivalent, but
So,
the sound has the
yeah.
frequency that
So
creates the
it's,
change.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's, I mean, it might as well have been me just talking to you. I was like, so what is my spiritual name would be one of the questions, right? And it's like, Ormetis. And
Mhm.
it's actually in that sound. Ormetis,
Mhm.
Ormetis. And it's like, we are here, Ormetis. Yeah, right? And it's like the rhythm of it, the sound of it,
That's true.
the octaves. And I thought that was kind of very cool.
It is very cool.
Yeah. So, but it was very much like taught to me just as if, so I don't have no idea how to spell it. How do you spell it? She's like, how does it sound? It's like, okay, I get it. It'll be okay.
Isn't that really cool?
Like, just stop controlling everything in your life.
I love that she's like, how does it sound? But
Yeah.
that is very much how it is when you are telepathically communicating. I mean, the other day I asked what I said myself, but I started laughing, and my son goes, "What, mom?" And I go, "Oh, I asked myself a question, and the answer I got was really funny because my higher self has a sense of humor and knows that they could reach me that way." I can't even remember what it was, but it's like that. How does it sound? Like sometimes it can
It's like, come on,
Yeah.
I mean, and it's kind of like they're teaching a little child,
Yeah.
right? And so, I kind of, there's a part of me that's like, okay. And I act like a little child when I'm being, when it's like being like
so
pushed
much.
on me like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. It's like you're trying to get something.
They have so much love. They don't see it as little child. In fact, we are very, very advanced souls. We just happen to be in our body, in a human body that is for God.
I think that's the
If
difference.
you're on this call, you are an advanced soul. I'm just gonna tell you right now. There's so many people I've done readings for on this show, like and the first words that you're an advanced wise soul. Like every I'm like, there you go again. Because there is, if you have this level of curiosity, you too, mark my words and make no mistake, are an advanced soul. If you are coming to really ask questions with your heart, and if you were sitting on this call right now, you are asking questions with your heart, and you are here for a bigger reason.
Even if you're like judging this and going, whatever, this is like a bunch of
judge all you wanted to come back.
It's just a bunch of bunk, right? Because I mean, the amount of times that I kind of just rolled my eyes during space weather news, but and the years before that, even with other speakers,
I
I was
remember
like,
that.
come on,
like
there's just so much like, now, are there frauds out there? Absolutely. There are people that will claim things that aren't actually true, but in your heart when it is.
Yeah. Don't fall for that either.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it on TikTok and on Instagram that'll be like, oh, can I give you a reading? Oh, you need to break this spell. Don't fall for that. This is the reason why it's so important that you connect with your own source of information, because you don't need all that. Yes, you can get a reading, but like there's a lot of really great people that do this stuff that, come on these various different really great shows, or they don't need to be on TikTok just handing out stuff like that. Yeah.
Lindsay's like, I have to jump off. Just wanted to say I love your energy.
And this dynamic show.
That was kind of
talking
about
it's been having coffee with friends. That's what
we should do. Coffee with friends and woo-woo stuff.
We'll go there. That's exactly how we want to feel, because we want this to be like, if we didn't have it, if there wasn't anything like this show, and maybe me having found Janet or anything like that, if there wasn't the internet, I know I would be going crazy, because I would be right there back where you were, like with those people showing me themselves and I don't know how to help them, or getting these premonitions and I don't know what to do, or just feeling like the straight weirdo pulling my hair out by myself.
Right. I mean, I thank God for the internet. And don't you think that's why we came back now, so that we could, actually get the expression of this out to a
Sure
a
says,
large
"Here, Lyanca."
audience, right?
And that's why
It's awesome.
it's so cool that like all of us collectively coming online here to just be here. Yes, we're the people with the microphones, but you all are all integral because it's a community, it's a place of like non-judgment where you can ask the questions like who are the Lemurians, right? Or
Yeah,
you can ask like I had
Like-
this really crazy dream.
right.
You could go
You
there
know,
with
I
the
mean,
woo.
and now you see something and you hear and you are like, I think this happened telepathically. You Google it and it looks, and somebody else has gotten the
Yeah.
exact same thing, not close, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what's really cool
Yeah.
about, this is like the era of the
Joe's
expression,
Yeah,
right?
got all the hearts up for us.
I mean,
It's
I
true.
really feel like our generation was like the last generation of kind of expression suppression,
Mm.
right? Because that's why it's not easy for us to do social media as it is like somebody who's in their early 30s, right? Because they're like been taught to express.
Thank you, Lyanca. Love
Yeah.
being part of this amazing show and my journey since last year. Oh man, you've had
Right.
so much change, Manisha. Like, thank you for saying
Yeah,
that. But
thanks for
it's you, girlfriend,
Yeah.
it's you that's willing to raise
fun.
your
It's
hand.
fun watching you guys
Yeah,
change.
it is.
Talking about watching people change, we do have an inner circle. It's called the Mystique Society. And I do want to let you guys know you're invited to this. We have these same kind of conversations that are about the mystics, and you get to be more a part of it than just listening to us go on
Yeah,
about
we hear
it.
Yeah, we do.
And
Yeah.
we help and we contribute to growing your gifts and your channeling abilities and
Then we'll have workshops.
healing if
learning.
yeah. And I'm hoping we're going to have an event this year
Oh, we
where
are.
we get to do
Totally are.
some actual physical healing on tables and things like that, because that is really where I'm called to
That is
next.
some of your juicy sauce right there.
Yeah, so it's like my juicy sauce doesn't get really seen a lot because I have to get behind a mic, and I'm actually think that I'm better at frequency than I am words.
Ooh.
That's a big
Share
claim. I
that
don't know where that came
a
from.
group from the group of awesomeness.
Thanks, Shara.
Yeah.
If you're interested in it, we put it in the newsletter. It's the lowest it's ever been, but you do have to sign up for at least 6 months first. But remember, Lyanca just mentioned a little bit about her work with QHHT. Well,
Uh-huh.
she also does
Yep.
Akashic readings.
Yep.
And with Mystique Society, if you sign up now before February 1st, you get a free session with Lyanca that is valued at $350. I think
Yep.
QHHT is probably more, if you could
Yeah.
be an
Yeah,
add-on
you
to
can,
that.
yeah, if you wanted to parlay that into a QHHT actual session, just because it does take actual time, it does,
Take
it
longer.
does take longer, but we can do that too. So if you wanted to swap out your Akashic record to pay a little bit of the difference, I'm more than happy to do that. So we could do a QHHT session. Those are really, really,
They're potent.
yeah, wow.
And I think one of them's life-changing
do
for
it
quite a
over.
while.
I've done so many of this that I'm so open and that I have this ability to really take people under that even have said they don't go under. Jenna says, I don't know if I can be, I don't know. if
Well,
you
I
get
know
me."
that I can be hypnotized
Yeah.
because I do that work. That's actual
Yeah.
training I have.
But I don't know if
So.
she thought that she was going to be where the experience that she really had.
No, I didn't know it was going there. And I do feel, and it was funny because Lyanca just sent me the recording. Now we did this October 1st. So it almost was like I wasn't ready to hear anything from it or even see anything from it yet. But then when things changed over the long weekend,
Yeah, after the show,
gosh,
after
where
the event.
you guys, if
You
you
got
didn't,
rewired.
if you didn't get rewired by
Listen
that,
to it again.
you might actually, buy this.
Tomorrow
It's
was the last day.
$47 to get just rewire, by the
Oh,
way.
yeah.
That's available through Saturday or Sunday.
You can listen to the replays
Through Sunday.
Sunday.
And we'll probably keep the offer up for a little while here, but it's $47, which you
keep
also
it for the
get with
lifetime.
that. You also get a 4-part session with me, which is a group rewire your DNA through my 5D weirdo work. And that's something you can show up live to, or you can just get the MP3 recordings of it, which I will remaster with some of those hertz frequencies that we sold you for $8. So if that calls you, that's just $47. If you are part of Mystique Society, or what we used to call the lounge, you do get 10% off all these offers. So except if you do join Mystique Society, you actually do
Get
get
it, you're
the
gonna get it, you're
rewire.
gonna get it all included anyway.
Right.
Like you get the whole enchilada if you're part of the Mystique.
Yeah.
It really is a crazy, like silly, super special that we're doing right
Yeah.
now.
So the monthly with Mystique is 37. Right now, normally. Right now you can get started for 111 for the first 6 months. And then if you want to continue after 6 months, it's another 111. And then after that, we'll figure out if you want to stay.
So basically,
No, and
and
I think that we will
you're-
probably honor
you're a
and
year-round
grandfather
person.
that.
Yeah.
Right. If you are in the last lounge and you are paying monthly and you do want to move to a Mystique Society because it has a little bit different price way, I'm happy to figure things out for
Yep.
you.
Yep.
Thank you.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you if you're even thinking about doing the monthly cost for Mystique, I would just say let's just do the 111 to get started. You're in for 6 months. Really, it's supposed to be for 222 for the whole year. But since our system doesn't allow us to bill until another 6 months, you get the full 6 months for 111. Then you get another 6 months for 111. So you get full annual subscription. Yeah, and you get to decide if you want to keep it or not.
If you're unsure and you have questions, just send us an email.
Yeah.
Because that page isn't well written up, I know, because we're moving over from the last quote lounge. But if you do have questions, do move over. Just send us an email.
A team at
Haute Hustle, or reply to one of our emails that we share with you.
Team at hautehustle.com.
And we're always happy to help.
Any other announcements? Who do we have on next week? Next week we have Megan.
Oh, yes, Megan Silito. She was on Saturday as well.
And she's talking about Quest. What is that? You know?
So, the cool thing about Megan is there's some creativity within her that's in nobody else. And so some of the frequency work that she does is she has you play as a cartoon character or as Peter Pan. And so in some of this work, you will go on mini journey quests to play with your frequency, and you play it as an avatar from Disney or something
that's
like
fun. What a cool way of doing that.
Yeah, it's so it's like a quest adventure to help you go into almost imagination to change your frequency.
Yeah, I can see how that's helpful because sometimes it's like you keep hearing, go to the frequency.
Be it, pretend that, so I do think that this is really cool. Megan isn't really on the kind of speaker circuit that a lot of these others are on, so she's a hidden gem.
Yeah, Manisha says Megan was amazing.
Yeah, she is. If you and look for the replays for the Rewire Summit, because they're up, and I actually have some of the individual ones up as well. So if you want to look at that on the regular video area, and they are all going away on the 31st. So I'm not joking about that. They will not be there. Is it tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
this has been a really quick week.
Yeah, Jocelyn Starfeather will be on with us on Tuesday.
Okay.
And she's all into, she does like astrology and dreams, which we haven't had.
Jocelyn.
Is that what, did I say Jocelyn?
No, I thought you said Justin.
No, Jocelyn Starfeather.
I love that
she
name.
talks about astrology and dreams, and we haven't really had somebody talk about dreams specifically. We've been wanting someone to do that, and she says hers is that we are the secret planet. I was looking at a lot of her stuff that she does, and she really comes from this very esoteric, very, very, she's going to take this conversation and just go, right?
Fun.
And that's going to be a lot of fun. And doing that with the astrology and the dreams, I think that's really going to take another layer of what we just talked about today, and just like really, it's funny how all of these conversations have just been elevated themselves.
Cool.
Even in the summit, right? It was
Yeah.
like one built right on another. It was like we couldn't even have planned it better. It was
Oh my gosh.
crazy. It was so crazy.
I love it. That was such a great day.
It was.
Yeah.
It changed you, changed
I know.
me. Like the
And I
notes
thought we were gonna just have a speaker on and just kind of do something else on the background. Nope. We were like in it.
not in the land of Woo, right?
Oh my gosh. It was like you couldn't avoid it because it's all
I love our spirit guides. They're
Okay.
like you thought you were.
Well, thank you
funny.
guys for being here for this conversation. It's been absolutely very fun. I am sorry that Kenji didn't show up, but I hope
He'll
that
be back. Yeah,
yeah.
he was not feeling too good. Nashi says, thank you, both of you, all of you lovely people. Yes, thank you all. Let's
you.
just do a moment of contribution for everybody. This is what we do. We just do
Oh,
1,
yeah.
2, 3.
Wait, so as an infinite being, let's make a request for that one thing that you really wish would change. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3.
I'm sending a little bit out to Karen, to Kenji, to the world,
Susan,
to Susan,
Manisha,
Manisha, everybody, yeah.
Joe,
Yeah.
Sarah, Dana,
Lorena today.
Steven,
Yes. Cesar,
Lin-
Tiffany, if you wrote in, I
Lindley.
can see. Yes, throwing it out to you.
Thank you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you all.
Karen, Alyssa. All right.
Nashi.
We will be back next Tuesday and Thursday, same time, same place. We'll see you then. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.